Hey hamsters! Today we're diving into 4 of the biggest crypto lawsuits in history, from Binance to Duquan and a few others in between. So grab your sunflower seeds and buckle up, because stories are filled with high stakes and hard-hitting consequences. The first lawsuit in question, Gemini. Back in October 2023, American prosecutors made the accusation that 3 major cryptocurrency firms of defrauding investors of more than $1 billion. One of the firms being the crypto exchange, Gemini, run by the famous Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss from Facebook's legal battle, which had allegedly lied to customers about the risks of one of their investment accounts, which was said to offer high interest rates on crypto. Superintendent Adrienne Harris shared Gemini failed to conduct due diligence on an unregulated third party, later accused of massive fraud, harming earned customers who were suddenly unable to access their assets after Genesis Global Capital experienced a financial meltdown. The allegation was later expanded to $3 billion. According to a February 2024 report, with additional investors highlighted including retail customers like a chiropractor and a stay-at-home father, each of whom invested $2 million of Bitcoin with Genesis. The result? The exchange ended up filing for bankruptcy just a few months later. And in response, the attorney who had made the allegation said this case was just another example of bad actors causing harm throughout the unregulated cryptocurrency industry. The settlement, which was the largest in state history, also banned Genesis from operating in New York. In response, Gemini said they had worked tirelessly over a 15-month period to advocate for earned users and seek the return of their assets. What can we say? We do like a resolution. And up next on the list, Duquan and the crash of Terra. Of course, no list of bankruptcies would be complete without the mention of the man, the myth, the legend himself, Duquan. Backtracking a little bit to 2022, Terra USD, a stablecoin, required the Luna crypto to maintain its 1-to-1 peg to the US dollar as a stablecoin does. However, both failed and the peg broke in May 2022. This resulted in an estimated $40 billion worth of losses for crypto holders. Ouch! Interestingly enough, Quan moved to Singapore before the famous Terra crash, stating it was for the safety of his wife and child. In his first interview after the crash, he went on to say the stablecoin was not a Ponzi scheme, since it was the earliest investors that were hit the hardest. "I've never thought about what could happen to me if this falls," he shared. The SEC, of course, was not having it, and in response, sued Terraform and the former CEO, Mr. Duquan, for fraud. They alleged that the company has misled investors for promising 20% annual returns through Anchor Protocol, which was a DeFi app. Terraform Labs has since come to the settlement of $4.5 billion, which includes $3.5 billion in disgorgement, over $460 million in prejudgment interest, $420 million as a civil penalty, and as a personal touch, Quan also was required to contribute $200 million to the Terraform bankruptcy estate. Rounding out the third spot is Binance and the SEC in a $4.3 billion settlement. Despite its rise to be the largest crypto exchange in the world, controlling 60% of the global market, the exchange underwent serious legal issues. And now it's paying the price with one of the largest corporate penalties ever seen in the US. Let's take you through the lead up to the events. On March 27th, 2023, the CFTC went on to drop 7 charges on the exchange. Of course, this was only the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
On May 5th, 2023, the US Department of Justice, aka the DOJ, tossed a big pile of extra bedding into the hamster wheel, making its speed even faster. As stated by the Binance, caused illegal transactions between US users and users in sanctioned jurisdictions such as Iran, Cuba, Syria, and Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine. Transactions for which Binance profited with significant fees. And then, despite this scrutiny, Binance continued its operations in Russia until September of the same year, raising a few more concerns. These take us up to June 5th, when the SEC revealed a total of 13 charges. On the list was unregistered securities sales, failing to restrict American customers from using its platform, commingling billions of investor dollars and sending them to a third party, Merit Peak Limited, that CZ had also owned, engaging in wash sales, effectively another big blow to the exchange. Of course, this is what you came here to see, the repercussions. First, to right the wrongs and ensure that Binance would adhere to the new regulations, the exchange was then subjected to an ongoing monitoring program. This program would be conducted over a 3-year span and led by an independent third party. Binance also agreed to a staggering settlement totaling approximately $4.3 billion. This includes a $1.8 billion fine and the forfeiture of assets worth about $2.5 billion. However, perhaps what rocketed the crypto world a little bit more was the repercussions that the former CEO of Binance faced. He pleaded guilty to breaching US anti-money laundering (AML) regulations.
Guilty.
And received an order to step down and settle a criminal penalty of $50 million alongside civil penalties that totaled $150 million. CZ was also sentenced to 4 months in prison for the money laundering violations. This sentence came from the US federal court in Seattle and ended up being a lot less than what the prosecutors were arguing for, 3 years. But we do love an apologetic crypto king who, prior to his sentence, publicly apologized for his mistakes during his tenure as the CEO of Binance. He states, "Words cannot explain how deeply I regret my choices that resulted in me being before the court." The letter read, "Rest assured," he says, "it will never happen again." SEC versus Ripple. In terms of biggest lawsuits, this one can be deemed big for the ripple effect. See what we did there? It had on the industry, even if the actual payout was a bit smaller than the other. In 2020, the SEC made the allegation that Ripple, the blockchain developer and creator of the XRP, alongside executives Brad Berlinghaus and Christian Lawson, had raised more than $1.3 billion in 2013 by selling XRP as an unregistered security offering. The settlement? In October, the SEC dropped charges against the 2 executives, but continued to seek remedies for the sale of the unregistered securities. The case only came to a close with a $125 million penalty on Ripple and the forbidding of the exchange to not violate securities laws in the future.
Oh my God! Wow!
Keep in mind, this was just a fraction of the $2 billion the SEC was initially seeking out, which would have made it a runner-up in larger settlements. Therefore, this lawsuit actually proved to be a major win for Ripple. However, on the larger scale, both parties did see a somewhat victorious outcome. The SEC did receive authority over sales to institutions, and exchanges can allow cryptocurrency transactions on exchanges since they are not securities transactions. So, hamsters, as we follow these legal sagas, remember that in the ever-evolving world of crypto, ethical practices and adherence to regulations are non-negotiable. Keep those wheels turning, and that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and remember, hamsters have power. One for all and all for one. Bye!